So very good morning, all of you. On behalf of Homeopathic Medical Association of India, Ahmedabad Unit, I welcome you all, myself Dr. Rajal Shah. And I really feel privileged and honored to having with me today Dr. D Jaiswal sir, a most senior teacher of teachers, and he is a guest faculty at Baroda Homeopathic College for the subject organon. सब जानते हैं कि सर ऑर्गेनन सिंस लाइक आई थिंक उन्होंने पास किया 1978, तब से ही इज इन दिस फील्ड एंड प्रैक्टिशनर एंड he was like a member of Central Council of Homeopathy from 1992 to 1999. He was member of Regulation Committee CCH New Delhi from 1994 to 1999. He is a member of editorial board NJH, a reputed international journal. He got a Lifetime Excellence in Teaching Award by Homeopathic Academic Circle and Matrushri Prasanba Charitable Trust in 2019. So I welcome you, sir. Please, it's really privilege कि today we have some tips and talks with Dr. Jaiswal sir. No specific topic, but we will go into depth how organal helps us in daily practice, how can we improve our practice, what to take on and what not. Please sir, welcome. Sir, you are the ocean of like organon, but I just start with the simple question. How can we consider or how we should consider mental sign and symptoms in homeopathic practice with the example conceptual with organon, sir?
To be very honest, I do consider mental symptoms in homeopathic practice.
Okay.
But at the same time, I do not prescribe only on the mental symptoms.
Okay.
Being an organon teacher, I can cite the aphorisms from organon. If you study the aphorism number 6, wherein Hahnemann talks about unprejudiced observer.
Yes.
And he has mentioned unprejudiced observer will take note of deviation in the state of health of both mind and body. He has not mentioned only mental symptoms. He has not mentioned only physical symptoms. I consider both the aspects. If you see the paragraphs 210 to 230 connected with mental diseases, he has clearly mentioned mind and body are correlated, they are inseparable, there is no absolute gap between them. If you study the paragraphs from 183 to 205, most of the paragraphs connected with local diseases. There also he has mentioned that local disease is the expression of internal disturbance.
Yes.
And I can give you an example from my practice. I was treating a female who came for the treatment of alopecia. When she came to me in the first visit, I found her very communicative. So, since the patients were more, I took a small history and I decided phosphorus.
Okay.
And this medicine I found was ineffective.
Okay.
So it was in one of the follow-up visits. I took the history again. And I asked her about her temperament. And she said, she is introvert.
Okay.
So I cross-examined her. When you came to me first time, you were talking so nicely. You were very communicative. And then she said, no sir, because you are a doctor. I have to be communicative.
Okay.
If I wouldn't give you the history,
Okay.
how would you select the drug?
Okay.
And then I realized that she was not phosphorus.
Yes.
When I took the history in detail, I realized she was Netramure personality.
Okay.
So you in practice, you can never have phosphorus mind with physical symptoms of natrum.
Yes.
You cannot have physical symptoms of phosphorus and mental symptoms of natrum.
Natrum.
So one has to correlate both.
Okay. So we have to look for both. Even though if patient is not in condition to tell us the physical symptoms or show us, we have to observe. So we have to sum up mental and physical symptoms. Okay, sir. So, sir, can you please make us understand, should we have innovative methods in homeopathy? And
see, case taking chapter in organon starts from paragraph 83 and it continues up to 104.
Okay.
Now, if you read the paragraph 83, the first line, Hahnemann has written, this individualizing examination of a case of disease,
Okay.
for which I shall only give in this place general directions.
Okay, general directions.
Nowhere in organon, Hahnemann has written that whatever I have said is the last word.
Okay.
Rather, he was
Going to
having
add-
self-confessional attitude.
Yes.
He has clearly mentioned in the second line of paragraph 83 that I have given general directions.
Okay.
I have realized this from one of my patients. A couple came to me for the treatment of their son having respiratory problems. I took the history. Then I kept on asking the couple, is there family background? Is there any respiratory disorder in the family tree?
Family history, sir.
Then the couple kept on telling me, sir, this is not applicable. So I said, no, in homeopathy, we take the family history to decide the prescription. Again, they said, this is not applicable.
Okay.
Since I am an organon teacher, I started teaching them organon.
Okay.
And then the couple said, sir, this is not applicable because this child is our adopted child. Now, see, how to take the history of an adopted child is not given in organon.
Actually.
What Hahnemann has said, I am giving general directions. You can make certain modifications as and when
It is
required.
artistic way.
It
We
is an
have to
artistic way of
apply.
asking.
Yes. So we have to always apply our mind what we have learned and actually from seniors. So it's a very good explanation with the example, sir. Sir, can you enlighten upon how do you select uncommon symptoms related to emotional, intellect, physical aspect of the person?
See, as an organon teacher, I would give an example of paragraph 153, wherein Hahnemann has clearly mentioned that the symptoms can be categorized in general symptoms and PQRS symptoms. By general symptoms, he meant symptoms which are generally found in various drugs of Materia Medica and the symptoms which are generally found in a particular disease.
Yes, common symptoms.
Common symptoms.
Okay.
So, common symptoms does not have prescriptive value.
Yes.
Only PQRS symptoms are to be given importance in the selection of a drug. I'll give you one or two examples. I remember a gynecologist of Baroda when she came for the treatment. I was asking her about her intellectual symptoms. And she very nicely explained when she was a student, she would listen the lecture in the class. She would go back home. She'll revise the lecture for 10-15 minutes. And then she would remember the lecture for a lifetime.
Okay.
This is called photographic memory. Now, this photographic memory is an uncommon intellectual symptom.
Okay.
This is very important.
It is not like a practice what we are doing.
No. Very few people are having photographic memory.
Achha.
Normally, we read a particular chapter, we remember the chapter for some days, we forget. One has to revise.
Yes, revise.
But what the gynecologist said, I would remember throughout my life. This is photographic memory. This is very, very uncommon. I'll give you another example of a sepia symptom.
Okay.
In sepia, it is mentioned, hates to whom she loved best. See, once upon a time, she loved her husband from the bottom of the heart.
Yes.
But now she hates.
Yes.
Now, this symptom has got two emotions. And two emotions are opposite.
Opposite.
This makes the symptom PQRS.
Yes.
I often tell my students in the classes, typical sepia would not say pia. She has become so indifferent.
Yes.
On the same line, I have derived one symptom. It is my own creation. I have framed a symptom. He hates to whom he loved best. This symptom is applicable to a male. If you read fluoric acid from Materia Medica, fluoric acid is womanizer. He would not stay loyal to one woman.
Yes.
You know, you find the history of divorces. You find the history of early sexual life. He's not loyal. So, you know, he has got this kind of philosophy. He hates to whom he loved best. So this is uncommon. Even on the same line, you can have many dreams which are related to the subconscious.
Yes.
I remember a lady, she came to my clinic, and when I asked her about the sleep, she categorically said she often gets the dreams as if she is traveling by the train.
Okay.
The train stops at the railway station. She would get down to purchase something, and by the time she would come back, the train has gone. And then I realized that this particular patient should be cross-examined in detail. When I cross-examined her, I found history of 3 breakups in the life.
Okay.
You know, when you are...
I think since then she might be getting this.
Because of the breakup, she was upset. You know, you are missing a boy whom you loved.
Yes.
It's like missing a train.
Yes.
This is uncommon.
So interpretation is very important.
Very important.
Just reading the drug picture is not important. Sir is saying we have to read from source books, sir, and we have to learn from seniors and co-related.
I personally believe, you know, the Materia Medicas, the source books which are neglected is one of the reason why our prescriptive ability has declined. I remember a homeopath who taught me homeopathy used to say, read only 5 drugs from Allen's, not every day.
Yes.
And he used to say, don't read the 6th drug, only 5 drugs.
Okay.
And you read those 5 drugs, you understand them, and then you see that your prescriptive ability improves.
Okay.
And that is what we need to do.
Yes, many times what it is my experience when we were in like college life, we were fascinated by mental only prescription and all that. At that time when we read the drug picture from different books, not source book, and we feel like this is the same I having, this is the same symptoms I having. So you are not justify the drug picture. I think organon of medicine by Hahnemann.
Since you are talking about mental symptoms, here I would like to add one example. Recently, I am treating a lady. She is a professor in MS University, Baroda. And I remember it was probably the 2nd visit. She said, sir, will you please tell me where am I wrong?
Okay.
Why people are keeping distance? Why people are not friendly with me? Why I have been avoided by the people? So I said, you are professor, you know it better. She said, sir, because I couldn't find out the reason I'm asking you. See, there are patients, they do not know their own mental symptoms.
Actually, delusions and all we have to.
If I'll tell you in Gujarati, one of my patients said, સાહેબ હું પોતે કેવો છું મને જ ખબર નથી હું તમને શું કહું. I remember another patient of mine, I was talking about his irritable temperament. He jovially said, "Sahab, gusso to tamne aavto hase." He avoided answering the question. In practice, it's not that easy to find out the mental symptoms. And that is one of the reasons we have to correlate mind and body.
Yes. So, sir, you have beautifully explained that every time patient is not ready to in a state of giving answer, but you have to plumbing up, as you have told. So हमें पूछना है, हमें artistic way करना है, and by practice, sir, it's come. So, sir, I want to know along with this how LMCS peculiarity जो हम लेते location sensation concomitant modalities helps us out. Is it the same way you have talked like for uncommon symptoms?
In diseases or the ailment suffered by the patient, it is utmost important to find out the complete symptom. See, in our science, we are talking about prescribing totality. And I have been examiner since many years. And I remember the students, they frame the prescribing totality, but that prescribing totality itself is defective.
Okay.
How would you judge prescribing totality? A prescribing totality is the one which has got generalities, general symptoms.
Yes.
Number two, those general symptoms should be uncommon.
Yes.
Number three, this prescribing totality can have etiological factor.
Yes.
This prescribing totality will have uncommon particular symptoms. And on top of this, all these informations are logically connected with each other.
Yes.
And the real prescribing totality will create the image of the patient.
And also drug picture.
Total drug picture. If you have a prescribing totality, it will create the image, the portrait, as if the patient is telling you, "Sir, I am arsenic standing in front of you. Sir, I am caustic, I'm standing in front of you." And that is the reason the symptoms that we have been selecting has to be homeopathically important.
Yes, yes. Okay, sir. And sir, connected to this, as you have told, etiology is actually important, and you are senior most for organ, and let us move on like miasmatic some background. So how can we correlate with this etiology? Matlab, how important miasm prescription or miasmatic understanding in practice, sir?
See, I'll go back to how Hahnemann discovered the miasms. Hahnemann himself failed in chronic diseases. What happens in chronic disease? A patient will come with acute episodic presentations.
Yes.
Philosophically, these acute episodic presentations can be described as the weeds
of chronic disease.
Disease. You remove the weeds.
Yes.
New weeds will come up. Why new weeds will come up? Because you have not eradicated the miasm.
Yes.
And that is one reason in philosophy, Hahnemann has mentioned miasms are the roots of chronic diseases.
Yes.
So if you want to cure your patient having chronic disease, you should understand the miasmatic background of the patient. And anti-miasmatic prescription helps a lot in eradicating the problem.
So many times we misunderstand beginners that this condition, voluptuous itching or etc. is like acute, and if the symptoms are subsides, rather I would say, and we could not able to go into depth and see the how cure we can go towards the cure with the miasmatic prescriptions, sir.
Say, as you are talking about voluptuous itching, I will talk on this line.
Yes.
Voluptuous itching is only the expression of psoric miasm. So removing voluptuous itching is not the removal of the psoric miasm.
Yes, sir.
So we have to eradicate in totality the miasm which is accountable for the chronic disease the patient is suffering from.
This is one expression only. Yes,
it is
sir.
one expression.
So, sir, let us to know your experience for the miasmatic prescription. Means every time is it necessary to prescribe miasmatic drug, or if we have lucky to enough select the constitutional medicine and if we have solved the case, then...
See, I'll tell you with example. Supposing you have a case having some skin disease, and you have taken the history in detail, and the prescription that you are getting is sulfur. Now, the sulfur itself is anti-miasmatic.
Yes.
So, no more anti-miasmatic prescription would be required.
Yes.
Or say, you have been treating a chronic patient and a particular medicine, say for example, X has been selected. This medicine does not cover the miasmatic attributes. So, the medicine will be effective.
Yes.
But that it wouldn't cure the patient. So this patient needs intercurrent anti-miasmatic prescription.
Like in some skin disease, tellurium or something working. But sir, we have learned that every medicine having its own miasmatic, or rather would say 3 miasmatic, one is prominent. Is it? Is that
Yes,
theory is what?
definitely. Say for example, you read calcarea carb. Calcarea carb is multi-miasmatic. It has got soric manifestations.
Yes.
It has got psychotic manifestations. Of course, syphilitic manifestations are less, but calcarea carb has got certain tubercular manifestations also.
Yes.
So it all depends upon who the patient is.
Okay.
It all depends upon
How the condition of
how
the
the
disease.
condition is, what are the
Yes.
symptoms at that point of time.
I think how deeply it may affected the person. So it is the
It would
customized.
it would be wrong on the part of a homeopathic doctor to say that this particular polycrase remedy is only antipsychotic.
Yes. Again, there is no fixed आपको मतलब समझ के आर्टिस्टिक वे उसको डेप्थ में जाके अंडरस्टैंड करना है. एज सर यू हैव टोल्ड दैट हनीमान सर हैज आल्सो सेड द सेम. ओके सर, सो along with this continuation, let us to make understand how to study Materia Medica actually with the patient symptoms, drug picture. Many times we just read in college times like symptoms just dube or something, but how, what to take?
Let me start with the jovial note. One of my seniors used to sing a self-created stanza. He used to sing, Materia Medica badi bewafa, subah ko padi, shaam ko safa.
Okay.
And he was absolutely correct. If you read a particular drug in the morning and you read the second drug in the evening, maybe by the night you have created third remedy. The symptoms would mingle.
Yes.
The only way to make the subject of Materia Medica comprehensible is to have integrated approach.
Okay.
I'll give you an example. Say for example, in pulsatilla, all authors have mentioned they are submissive, they have yielding disposition,
Yes.
they do not have assertivity. And usually a typical pulsatilla will try to please her doctor.
Yes.
They are goody patients. If you read organon, in paragraph somewhere Hanuman is mentioned, probably the paragraph 256, that some patients are very good natured. So, they always try to please their physicians. This is one angle. Now see the second angle, organon. In organon it is said, direct questions are not allowed.
Yes.
Leading questions are not allowed. Now supposing you are asking direct questions or leading questions to pulsatilla personality, it will be misguiding.
Yes, are you good in nature?
Yes.
Not possible.
Because she will always say yes.
Yes.
She has got yielding disposition.
Yes.
So what you learn is that if you have typical pulsatilla personality in clinic, you should avoid asking such questions. It's an integration.
Right.
It's an integration between these two.
Yes.
I give you the same example in another way. So there is a conflict between husband and wife. And as a homeopathic doctor, husband is Nakswamika.
Okay.
Wife is pulsatilla.
Okay.
Now you can convince the husband that you start giving importance to your wife. avoid your dictatorial attitude.
Stop.
And that is, that is a homeopathic way of counseling.
Yes.
You can save somebody's marriage.
Yes. Yes.
And who helps you? Organon, Materia, Medica study together.
Philosophy, it's a counseling, absolutely, and it's a by default integrated part of nowadays diseases. We have to make patient understand. Yes, and as you have told, sir, that every drug having a two extreme pole. So it is nothing like that. Pulsatilla always VP. I think in practice we can see that.
No, same pulsatilla can be abrupt.
Abrupt.
She can be abrupt.
Okay, so can you give one example just to, because many times we stick to that words and symptoms which seen in 90%.
I give you a simple example. See, when I was a student, we had one impression that Naxwamika can never be given to the patients who are not irritable.
Okay, yes.
So only if Naxwamika is very irritable, it has to be given. Otherwise, it is contraindicated. I have seen plenty of patients in my practice. Modern Naxwamikas are not irritable.
Modern Naxwamika. Okay.
They are not irritable. A modern Naxwamika would say, Sir, I don't become angry. So I ask them, what about inside? And then he would say confidentially, Sir, inside I'm boiling.
Yes.
But I'm not expressing myself because I'm a businessman. I have my targets to achieve. How can I spoil the relations?
Yes.
So,
here we have to differentiate with the other drug also and core essence of the main Naxwamika also.
No, one has to be flexible. You can't have audacity. You can't create a Chinese wall around yourself.
Yes, sir.
What you need is understanding of the patient depending upon the situation in which he lives.
So drug may be differ by time. Yes. Okay, sir. Let us to know how do we predict prognosis in homeopathy, sir?
Okay, it's a very interesting question. See, in allopathic science, if a particular disease takes place, they will tell the future course.
Yes.
And they
for
will
the treatment and prognosis.
Prognosis. Then they will say, this is the duration. Probably you will succumb to the disease. So their prognosis is more based upon pathological investigations.
Yes, sir.
In homeopathy, it is quite different. I'll give you example. Say there are two patients of rheumatoid arthritis. In one patient, in family, everybody has lived long. Mother lived 80 years. Father is still living 82. Even the patient has not suffered any disease in the past.
Yes.
And this patient of yours who is suffering from rheumatoid arthritis has got optimistic attitude. Now the prognosis of this patient is comparatively good.
Yes.
Because there is nothing in the family background.
Yes.
Nothing in the past.
Yes.
And if you look at the mentals, he is very strong.
Optimistic. Yes.
He is very optimistic. The second patient of rheumatoid arthritis, father expired at the age of 45. Mother passed away at the age of 50. And he himself has suffered many illnesses in the past.
Yes.
And he is absolutely pessimist. See, it is the same rheumatoid arthritis.
I think it's a deep-rooted mentally and physically.
But then our prognosis differs. It is more customized.
Yes, yes.
It is more individualized. And it all depends upon informations available.
Yes. So many times happens, sir, कि patient अपने पास आता है, he is telling like, you have treated my colleague for these symptoms in 1 month. So what's about myself? Because I have the same symptoms. But as a homeopath, as you have told, we have to clarify and take into deep.
No, you can't have the same prediction for every patient.
हाँ, that's what कि हमें सबको ऐसा नहीं कि वैसे तो पेशेंट आके पहले यही पूछता है कि कितने टाइम दवाई लेनी पड़ेगी, how long, और उसको टॉन्सिस 1 मंथ में क्लियर हुए तो मुझे कब तक होंगे?
उसके लिए मैं एक अच्छा एग्जांपल देता हूँ कि इट्स अ it's a pantomime revolving around the theme hair in the soup.
Okay.
So, one person saw the hair in the soup and he got annoyed. He called the waiter and threw the soup on his face. And then he left the hotel.
Correct.
The second person, he saw the hair in the soup and then he picked up his coat and walked away, whistling a tune.
Left the things.
He was not annoyed.
Yes.
The third person, he ordered another soup. See, every person reacts differently.
Yes.
And that is what we believe in homeopathy.
Yes.
One patient might be cured within 2 months, second will require 4 months, third may be cured within 2 weeks also. It all depends upon who the patient is at our disposal.
ये भी हमें समझाना है. This all we have to make patients explain कि not only selection of the medicine, it's a part of treatment.
No, many patients are asking, sir, will you please tell me how long we have to continue the treatment? So I tell them, I can't predict. If I say 6 months, it will take 1 year.
Yes.
If I say 1 year, it might take only 3 months.
Yes.
So we
How
can't
your
do
body
that.
reacts.
How the body reacts.
Yes.
It depends on that.
So beautifully you make us explain. सर लास्ट क्वेश्चन, और भी कुछ माइज्म की टिप्स या कुछ प्रैक्टिकल टिप्स, कुछ भी स्कोप एंड लिमिटेशन होम्योपैथी?
I'll give you some tips. There are many patients you get nowadays having exostosis, especially the calcanean spur. So in my practice, I give indicated drug, but intercurrent prescription would be antipsychotic.
Yes.
And if you give antipsychotic remedy, it hastens up the speed of the cure.
Yes.
Similarly, say in skin diseases, I do give antisoric medicines in between. In certain cases of corns and callosities,
Yes.
I give indicated remedy along with intercurrent antipsychotic remedy.
Medicines, yeah.
Even in diseases of reproductive system, I use antipsychotic remedies as intercurrent medicines, and they are very effective. I'll give you one more example. Cases of, say, Parkinsonism. I give them indicated remedy, but Parkinsonism falls in the syphilitic miasm.
Yes.
So along with indicated remedy, I give them anti-syphilitic medicine intercurrent, and it helps.
Any your practical tips के how frequent we repeat, or I know it's customized but still?
No, what I do is I repeat them very infrequently.
Okay.
Supposing I have given Madorinum 1000, I may not repeat for a week. If required, I may repeat, but otherwise I will see that I repeat them at a long interval.
Long interval, and in between we repeat or take help of constitutional medicine. Sir, last one query which is come right now in my mind. Have you seen in your practice any aggravation with the miasmatic medicine or wrong selection? How can we judge the case?
See, wrong selection can produce medicinal aggravation. But let me tell you very honestly, who do not give wrong medicine, including Dr. Jaiswal.
Yes. And potency
but
also
if
works.
Every wrong prescription creates aggravation, believe me, nobody will take homeopathic treatment.
Yes.
But every wrong prescription will not produce aggravation because patient is not susceptible to the wrong drug.
तो वो डीपर तो एक्ट करेगा ही नहीं.
So there are two conditions. If they are clubbed, wrong prescription and the patient is susceptible to a wrong drug, then only unwanted, undesired aggravation takes place. Otherwise, we the homeopathic doctors are lucky enough that we give plenty of wrong prescriptions, but then we don't see unwanted aggravation.
सर आप एक लास्ट एग्जांपल दे दीजिए, अगर आपने देखा इनिशियल डेज में कोई एग्रावेशन एंड हाउ यू हैव टेकल दैट केस, चेंज द पोटेंसी, चेंज द मेडिसिन.
No, I'll give you one example of my initial days of practice, a patient of psoriasis, a very bad case of psoriasis. He was VIP patient, and then I gave sulfur, high potency, and then the patient developed aggravation, and it was so bad that he was to be hospitalized.
Okay.
Why this aggravation took place? It was because I was wrong. I should not have given sulfur, a deep acting drug, in an advanced case of psoriasis. Though I am an organon teacher, I neglected this aspect because I was lacking experience. But this particular patient became my teacher.
Yes.
Now, from this patient onward, I have not repeated this mistake. If a case is advanced, and if the patient has taken plenty of suppressive allopathic drugs,
Yes.
I am very careful in selection of a potency.
Yes.
I don't give deep acting drug in higher potency. I do not repeat them too frequently, just to avoid unwanted aggravation.
So we can go or
We have to
learn
be
lower potency or something.
We have to be very strategic. One has to plan out. And if you read the last line of paragraph 3 of Organon, Hahnemann has written, then he understands how to treat judiciously and rationally, and he is the true practitioner of the healing art.
तो सर ये केस में आपने क्या किया? साइड इफेक्ट एग्रेवेशन रिड्यूस करने के लिए कोई न्यू ड्रग इंट्रोड्यूस और
वो चांस हमें नहीं मिला.
अच्छा, ओके.
Aggravation was so bad, he was physically shifted in the ambulance to a hospital.
Yes. So इट्स रियली नाइस टू टॉक टू विथ यू सर, क्योंकि बहुत सीखने को मिलता है, सीखते ही रहते, पर क्या होता है कि इतना डेप्थ में जो फॉलोअप है या स्मॉल टिप्स है कि जिसके वजह से हम अपनी प्रैक्टिस इंप्रूव कर पाते हैं. सो थैंक यू सो मच सर.
नो, आई शुड थैंक यू फॉर योर इंटेलेक्चुअल क्वेश्चनर एंड you know the way you have conducted this interview. I hope the homeopathic fraternity would have enjoyed it.
Thank you sir, it's my pleasure. Actually I would all of viewers, I suggest you all, please write down in comment whatever your questions. हम सर से पूछ सकते हैं मैसेज से, कुछ भी queries है तो we just complete our knowledge. No doubt should be in our mind. So please, thank you watching for this video, and I appeal to forward video to all who are seeking for the knowledge of organon and practice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.